Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. I spent a good part of last week answering emails and Facebook messages and Instagram messages and whatever else platform you people are on, saying, can you send me the song? Send me they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Well, the one that was my favorite is the one I'm sending out. And it's by some guy named Kiffness. No, we've never heard of him before. You never heard of him before. He doesn't have songs on the radio. He's just some dude in his living room that hammered this out. I think I had to send this to like almost 100 people last week.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
All right,
They're
so
eating the dogs.
I am so disappointed. One of the big disappointments about the Trump attempted shooting over the weekend is it knocked this story out of the headlines. This was dominating my social media feed. It's a hell of a cat solo they got there. But this was dominating my social media feed for the second half of last week and over the weekend until the almost shooting happened. And it was morphing into the next version. People were coming up with dances, and then other people were copying the dances that they were making to these songs. And the one that was really blowing up was a different mix. It's the same idea. I like the other song better, but this is the one people were making more videos to and coming up with their own little cute dances. And this is dangerously close to making Donald Trump cool with Generation Z. And not that I think that's a bad thing, but that scares the hell out of the media.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. 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 They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed.
Look, this shouldn't matter. We've never really had memes steer an election for all of human history up until about, I don't know, 2016 or 2020s when memes were really catching on. But when you see kids out there and, you see young ladies shaking their butts or guys doing like the little kitty cat claws and they're having fun with it, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it humanizes Trump. And that's one thing that you've even heard them accidentally say out loud a few times. When you have interviews with him, when you put him in your setting and you have him on your show and you're nice to him, you run the risk of humanizing him, and we can't have that happen. Well, you can't stop comedy. If it's funny, people are going to laugh. If you're on Team Blue or Team Red, if it's a genuinely funny joke, you have a visceral reaction. Unless you have just become dead inside, if you put out that little light on the inside, and you're just a empty hole walking around, hole Hull, then you think that's funny, and it pierces your guard. It pierces that veil you have around where you're suspicious of anything that comes from the other side of the political aisle. No, this is funny. That's hilarious. Remember, it was comedy that broke the myth that the virus came from a wet market and it didn't come from the lab. That was a Jon Stewart comedy routine on Stephen Colbert's show that ended that. Comedy is super powerful because comedy reaches the people that aren't paying attention. Think about all the, like, you love this station, I love this station, but most of DFW is not listening to this station right now. Some of them are listening to other stations, some of them are watching TV, some of them are streaming audio, some of them aren't paying attention to media. They're at work, they're at school, they're at soccer practice, they're at football. This gets through, though. There's many people out there that will never hear what you and I have to say. But when these things get passed around, you better believe it has an effect. And one that's got me confused now is I never thought Taylor Swift was like a psyop. Of course, she's endorsing the big government party, the party of the elites, the party of the billionaires. Of course, she's part of that exclusive club that George Carlin talks about. It's one big club and you ain't in it. Yeah, she's in that club. But when you start telling me she's not a psyop, that's when I start thinking she is. So someone made a montage of all these TV stations reading the same statement about Taylor Swift not being a psyop. And this makes me think that she's more of a psyop now. It has like the opposite effect. I don't know, maybe I'm just a disagreeable butthead, but this weirds me out.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating.
Not that one. This one.
Good morning. Taylor Swift is not a psyop.
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 Taylor Swift
is not a psyop. Taylor Swift is not a psyop. Taylor Swift is not a psyop.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
You will kill the Malaysian Prime Minister. Chris in Glen Rose, you're on the James Show on WBAP. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for taking my call. About a year and a half ago, I was playing on my laptop, and I was just I punched in how to cook a cat, and it came up this Haitian cooking this cat on the sidewalk, and this woman was telling him, "Oh, I'll buy you something to eat. Don't do that. Don't do that." Well, the thing about it is that it's probably scrubbed from the internet, but you might want to try that. I can't do it now because I don't have a laptop.
Oh, I thought there was a punchline coming up. I had my finger on the laugh button. That's not a joke. You really did see that?
I absolutely did. I was just playing on my laptop about a year and a half ago, and I punched that in, and there it came up.
You know, I almost find it. Thank you very much for your call. Maybe I can find that, Chris and Glen Rose, but I find it frustrating that how effective this is. Oh, you care about illegal immigration, not when you're tanking our services, not when you're filling up our hospitals and causing our medical bills to go up and causing long lines at the waiting room or the emergency room, not when they're flooding your schools and draining the resources there. So instead of adding like another gifted program, we have to add another ESL program. They're draining all your services and in any of these other government programs, housing assistance, welfare, tax credits, things like that. And it's not even the crime. It's not the Laken Riley getting raped and murdered while she's out on her jog. It's not all the shootings. It's not Train de Aragua. You're worried about the pets. All right, fine. I'll take it if that's what makes you care. You didn't care about all the other human suffering or the suffering of the taxpayers or balancing the budget. You're worried about cats. Fine. I'll take it. Do you oppose illegal immigration? Now, can we close the border now? 800-288-9227. Coming up next, we're going to talk to a legal expert, my lawyer buddy, Jeremy Rosenthal. Puff Daddy turned himself in, and the judge said the charges look so bad, he was denied bail. How bad is it? Find out in about 6 minutes on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey there, welcome to The James Show. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Are you familiar with the walkaway movement? There was a guy that when Trump got in office, I think it was Brandon Straka, wasn't that his name? Was that the first guy? It seemed to start with one guy. There was a fella who hated Trump. Well, actually, he did what a lot of people on Team Blue did. He liked Trump his entire life until he said positive things about Team Red. And once he became antithetical to Team Blue, he became an object of hatred. And so he followed along with this. But then he started doing his own research. Like when people say Trump made fun of a handicapped reporter, he went and looked up the truth. And he found that Trump had no evidence that guy had cerebral palsy, and he had made the same gesture when talking about people he knew were not handicapped. He had made the same little thing where he puts his arm on his chest and acts scared, like, talking about Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and a handful of other political opponents. And he's like, wait a second. So if they're lying to me about what Trump said there, are they lying to me about these other Trump issues? And he goes through and they just fall over one after another. The very fine people hoax, the inject bleach hoax. And after a while, he decided that he's been on the wrong side. He saw through the propaganda and he made a video talking about his evolution, his walk away moment. And so the hashtag walk away was born during the Trump first term. And it's grown into a community, because one of the common threads that you hear with the walk away is how many times these people lose some of their close friends, some of their close family for not toting the line anymore. And they're shocked. They're like, wait a second. I thought we were the tolerant ones. I thought they were the intolerant ones. And then here I am, just because I spoke out against Team Blue and I colored outside of the lines just slightly, I'm being completely rejected by people who were just previously my friends, my brothers, my family. I thought we were all on the same side. I thought we were on Team Tolerance. So here's another good walk-away story. These are always fun to hear.
Hello, my name is Eli Beauchamp. I'm a registered Democrat, and I have been a registered Democrat all my life. By now, you might have heard that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are running a joy campaign. Now, you know what would bring a lot of joy to my life? Lower prices at the gas pump, lower prices at the grocery store, affordable housing for my family, affordable housing for everyday Americans. But what did we get in return? A wide open border at our southern border. Millions of embedded illegal immigrants waltzing right into our country. They get food stamps, they get cash assistance, they get relocation and housing assistance. And what do everyday Americans get? We get kicked to the curb. Well, guess what? You might even think I'm a racist. But my wife is a legal immigrant. And so far, we have spent over $10,000 for her to be here legally. How dare you go and insult us by just allowing millions to waltz right in, while we have done everything the right way.
You know, this is such an interesting issue, this election cycle, because in most of the election cycles in your lifetime, the number one issue has been the economy. You know, you might have some foreign policy thrown in there right after 9/11, but for most elections, it's all about the economy. Well, this one's about immigration, and both of the guys on the Republican ticket are married to immigrants. They actually share this guy's experience. You think that would help their case? Another thing I wanted to share with you is some of the stuff that I've been seeing in the background. People send me emails and whatnot, and I don't get to read all of them, but a couple of these are pretty interesting. Scott says he thinks the amateur assassins are being hired by Iran to try and take out Trump. Okay, that's a maybe. I can't shoot it down, no pun intended, but I don't know. I love hearing all the theories, though. Like I said, I'm not going to make fun of you. We don't have enough answers. The other one was an astute observation. Well, this person didn't leave their name, but it says the guy flew in from Hawaii. He had no gun. Where did he get the gun? And the scope. And apparently the tiles. That's the definition of conspiracy. Well, again, you may be right. There may be something conspiratorial to that. Or we may find out in a few days or months or whenever they actually do the investigation and release it that he flew in and he went to the store and he bought a gun with his own money, or he bought a gun with cash, or he bought a gun with the debit card. Or he could have bought a gun with one of his secret overseas bank accounts. Or we don't know. Great question. Still don't have an answer for that. Now, do we? You guys are so good at asking the questions. And if you want to get them into me, I love reading them all, even if I don't get to say it on the air. I like playing this game. This is like my wife likes to watch Dateline and those murder mystery shows. This is kind of like that, but real life. This actually means something. This little investigative stuff can be fun. All right. Thank you very much for hanging out on The James Show. We have 49 days until the election. You can keep track of it every day here, live or with the podcast. Find The James Show podcast wherever you're already listening. So it could be, I prefer on the WBAP app, but if you're already on some other app, I don't know, Spotify or Apple Podcast or the one that's owned by another radio company, so I don't want to say it, just look for The James Show, see if it pops up. Follow me, subscribe, follow me on social media, share my stuff out, help a brother out. Stay put. Mark Levin is coming up next. I'm James Parker. This has been The James Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey there, welcome back to The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. You know, this was a story that is bigger than I thought it was going to turn out to be when I first heard about it. Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, real name Sean Combs, he's in big trouble. We've seen a lot of people get in trouble. I mean, we've had the whole summer. There's been a diss track about Drake being a pedophile, and there's been a lot of accusations about Diddy and a lot of horrible lawsuits thrown around and whatnot. But today it got serious. There's real charges. He turned himself in, had to go in front of a judge, and the judge denied bail. Oh my goodness. Well, for those of us who haven't been to law school, that makes it sound really serious. Jeremy Rosenthal, TexasDefenseFirm.com. Is this as serious to a lawyer as it is to a layman?
It's bad stuff. I almost get the impression they don't like him, but I can't put my finger on why.
Well, judges, they don't judge you based on whether or not you're a likable guy or you should host the next dinner party. There must be some evidence. These must be some believable charges here, and he must be facing some big possible sentences if he's like a flight risk.
These offenses carry with them in the federal system what you call a presumption of detention, meaning that the magistrate or the federal judge doesn't have to let you out. In state court, what you do in the state of Texas, they bring you in, they put you in a cage, and you pay money to get out. And basically, you can't be convicted unless you're in court. So if court were voluntary, nobody would go. But they say, if you pay the money, we'll let you out of the cage. If you don't show up to court, we'll take your money, we'll put you back in the cage. The feds don't work that way. The feds can keep you indefinitely pending trial, and that's what happened to P. Diddy due to the nature of the charges that he's facing.
All right, so why are these federal charges and not like state or local charges?
A great question. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to bootstrap a lot of his criminal conduct, which, look, in the indictment they said he beat up women. There's video, very bad video of him beating up an ex-girlfriend. They're saying that he's providing drugs, that there's sex parties, that there's all these things, which is bad news and illegal. But what the feds are doing is they're bootstrapping it to his company, and they're saying your company is engaging in all these things. Therefore, it's racketeering. It's interstate. That's why we're trying to make this federal. So that, in essence, is the hook, if you will.
Oh, I was assuming it was like a Mann Act violation where you take someone across state lines for human trafficking purposes. That's not it?
It's multiple reasons. Anytime you're messing with interstate commerce, moving from one state to the other, that's going to be a federal trigger. Putting things in the mail, for instance, mailing drugs, that's going to get you in federal trouble. So the RICO Act, the racketeering, plus moving people across state lines, those are the hooks here.
I hear you. So what are some of these other charges? Like you list out the charges. I was listening to Kimberly James on the break there. Kidnapping, arson, bribery. I was like, wait a second. I knew about the weird sexual stuff and, the domestic violence, but kidnapping, arson, bribery, where does all this come from?
They didn't really specify. In the indictment, they just kind of list them out there and kind of leave them broad. We may see other indictments of some other co-defendants. In the press conference, the U.S. attorney actually referenced one arson incident. He was very broad and very general in his press conference, so much so that it's like, why are you even having a press conference? Because all the questions the media asked him, he just really retreated from there. But he did mention that there was one arson incident, didn't specify what it was. I think we're going to learn more about these things as it unveils. As indictments go, this was kind of on the general side, didn't answer a lot of specifics.
Yeah. While I have you on the phone, just another legal issue. Is it illegal to eat a cat? Is it illegal to eat a dog in America?
Probably. I think there's animal cruelty statutes. I'll tell you this much, James. If you talk to jurors, potential jurors, and you get more emotions with animal cases than you do anywhere else by far and away. When I was a prosecutor, if we had an animal cruelty case, it was understood we were going to get more mail and more feedback from the community than if it was a murder case. But, I don't know. Abuse of a pet corpse, I don't know. This is all from Ohio, right? Is this Springfield, Ohio? I don't know what the laws up there are.
And I'm sure you can't.
I don't know.
I'm sure you can't steal your neighbor's cat and eat it. But like if you own the cat yourself and you're just like, hey, man, it's time for lunch. I'm just curious, just legally curious, not trying to be a weirdo. I mean, these are issues that are put in front of my face and I'm just trying to deal with it, not getting any answers. And I feel stupid asking. So thank you very much for putting up with it, Jeremy.
I'll look, you know what? You got me wondering now because there's animal cruelty things, but see, and this is where I nerd out because I know that this is like serious, but not serious. But then I'm like, actually, like, is there like mishandling of a pet corpse?
Exactly.
You can miss. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm tracking.
Yeah, right. And this isn't for me to go out and I don't want to eat a German Shepherd. I have to know these things. I'm a little OCD like that.
Yeah, it's hypothetical. I get it. Right.
TexasDefenseFirm.com is where you can find him. Jeremy Rosenthal, thanks for your time again.
Have a good day.
It's a question that's been bothering me, and I was scared to ask it because I felt like it would sound stupid, and then I said it, and then it sounded even dumber than I thought. So don't call in and have a conversation about that with me. I don't want to talk anymore about eating pets, all right? But if you have anything that is non-pet related, it could be Puff Daddy, it could be the Trump shooting, it could be Kamala Harris, anything election related. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. Coming up next, another great walk-away story from a Democrat who converted to Republican. You'll hear it on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.